Namaskar. Welcome to this talk series of the the topic is the key to your health may lie in your gut. So today is the second in the series, and the topic today is relates to the acid in your gut or acid in your stomach. Sorry, and we will be talking for about 20 minutes on this. Now, these are smaller talk sessions, but we have done it in a series because the gut health is a large issue. So we have Mr. Anil Grover, who's the AFMC certified health practitioner through the School of Applied Functional Medicine, Massachusetts, and a certified health coach through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, New York. He's additionally a graduate on plant-based nutrition certificate through T. Colin Campbell Center, which is a very, very renowned center located in New York. He has completed the lifestyle medicine for coaches course from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, come web coaches, wellness coach, schooling from School of Coaching. Anilji is a very, very spiritual person, is a very giving person, very warm person, and he's health for him is a mission. So you will certainly enjoy this session, and you'll have a lot of takeaways from it. My name is Gautam Vivek, and I'm a diabetes reversal lifestyle coach. In 2012, I turned diabetic, and had a good fortune of meeting a doctor who guided me, and he asked me whether I wanted to be free of diabetes or maintain or manage diabetes, and that started my journey. And since then, I have gone very deep in this issue, helped many people reverse their diabetes and lose weight and be better in many ways. And I have supported hundreds of people in this. And so happy to have you over, sir, for this discussion. It's always a pleasure. Since the topic relates to the stomach acid, normally the stomach acid is something when it comes to mind. It's basically we relate to it as if it's a suffering, acidity in stomach. But acid is a very, very important. I mean, it's there for a purpose. I think let's get into deep dive into that purpose from a very holistic perspective. Thank you.
So thank you, Gautamji, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So let's begin straight away. Yes, the first thing would be about the acid. We complain about acidity, but it's fascinating to go along with nature. Nature has provided this acid for a purpose. And the wisdom of nature, the wisdom of our body is just fascinating for me. So today, let me pass on this information to everyone. So what we see here is, the acid in the stomach. We all can see it. And on the one side is a scale, which in school we all had to go through it with the litmus paper. We used to study, that alkaline and acidic, the scale is 0 to 14. So 0 is very acid, absolutely acidic, which is like the battery, which can burn a finger, hydrochloric acid. And now our stomach pH is very acidic, the liquid in it, inside the stomach, which is supposed to be 0, supposed to be 1 to 3. 1 to 3 is around 1, 2. Means if I would put my finger there in my stomach acid, I can damage my skin. So this is the wonder of nature. Why is it like this? Because pepsin, enzyme which digests or breaks down proteins, only gets activated in the presence of acid, hydrochloric acid. So now this is something very fascinating. If you can understand the wonder of nature, that can only happen inside, it only happens inside the stomach. Now the stomach lining has lots of mucus lining, so it is protective. The acid cannot damage the stomach lining. It's only inside the stomach. So inside the stomach, pepsin comes Acid is there. Acid has to be there. If there's less acid, it will not work. The protein will not get uncleaved, will not get broken into amino acids. So now, just think, is a question to all of y'all. Why does this digestion of protein with pepsin and hydrochloric acid only happen in the presence of acid? Why can't pepsin digest protein anywhere else in the body? In let us say in the large intestine or the mouth. Why not? Because our body is also made up of proteins. So if this mechanism was not given to us by nature, we would digest ourselves up. So pepsin can only be activated in acid. So we need acid. So number two, this strong acid acts like an immunity, a barrier for all the unwanted pathogens, bacteria, when they are entering through the food, they will get killed in this acid. So remember, acid is needed. So Gautamji, I hope you are catching on and everyone has caught on that we need acid. So next, what would you like to connect it to? Yes, we need acid. Good acid is needed for us, proper acid and pepsin, and then the proteins can be broken up. Because if the proteins are not broken up, proteins usually also come combined. The minerals come combined with proteins. If protein is not broken up, we cannot absorb proteins. We cannot, proteins do so much functions in the body. The minerals have very important functions. So downstream, we will get have dysfunctions with almost all the major diseases. It gets connected to everything. So next, what do you feel we should move on to, Gautamji?
That part is clear now. That I'm sure nature has provided it as a function, and it's a very fascinating to understand that the pectin would only get activated in presence of acid to assimilate the proteins. But then why the problem, how this order comes up, and it's a common one. People suffer on a day-to-day basis for years on, and then the common instinct is to try to quench it, take some kind of Digene or some tablets which basically would inhibit that function. And of course, on the other hand, there are also issues related to low stomach acidity. So what are the disorders? Why we feel bloated or have acidity and things like that?
Okay, that's wonderful. To move on to the next part. So now what we see here, this is the stomach. We eat the food, it comes down, and there is something, I did not mark it with red. Okay, so small, that opening, it's called a sphincter. Esophagus sphincter, that is like a fist. When we eat, the food comes down and the stomach is here. So it passes through. When we are eating, it will open up. But once we have eaten, it will close. And because there's acid in the stomach, so the acid should not come out because it will burn. Only the stomach lining is protected. So now when we are having, in fact, low acid, less acid can form due to many reasons. So less acid, first of all, there are many factors. Let us say less acid, protein won't get digested, undigested food and other things also will not get digested, and it will start creating gas. So there will be now distension in the stomach. So there will be pressure, which can happen for many other things, which we will move on later on. So now there can be, and the sphincter may be a bit not so tight. It could be a bit stressed, not relaxed and closed. So then the acid can come out up from the sphincter, and that is when we feel the acid. Inside the stomach, we won't feel the acid. So the acid we feel, when we say acidity, I'm feeling acid problem, we always say here means acid is coming up. Does not necessarily mean there is too much acid. It can be, but it can, who are having it in the long run, can mean also low acid. And this low acid is creating this undigested food, is creating the bloating. The food is lying there too long and there's distension. So food coming up with that acidic food is creating that acid feeling. Like if we vomit by chance, if supposing we have eaten something wrong, vomit is the wisdom of nature to throw the food up back. So when we vomit, our throat burns, everything burns. You see why? Because there was acid in it. So acidity, acid reflux, GERD is actually acid in the wrong place, not necessarily too much acid, because we need the acid. Sometimes, yes, the stomach will create if we have eaten wrong foods also too much. But generally, long run, who are not taking care, this thing is carrying on acid in the wrong place, right? And if we are having less digestive enzymes, poor activity from the bile, so sometimes it's very fascinating, the nature that when the stomach's part has been done, then the lower stomach will open to let out the food. Now, when the food will go out, it is acidic. It can also irritate the beginning of the intestine called duodenum. But nature is wonderful. Over there, bile is released, and bile is alkaline. So the moment the food is coming out from the lower end, bile is coming out as a spray and mixing and is becoming alkaline, which will not hurt so that means we need the bile also. The entire thing is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. And just to touch quickly, people sometimes they have peptic ulcers. So what is peptic ulcers? Peptic ulcers is in our stomach, part of our system. There is a bacteria called pylori, H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori. It is part of our system. So if our good bacteria becomes low due to our poor eating habits, poor lifestyle, and as I said, that bacteria cannot exist in an acidic environment in the stomach, but they live there little bit, but they are opportunistic, means when they get the chance, if the acid in my stomach is dropping, becoming less due to lifestyle factors, stress, poor eating habits, so they get a chance to increase. So they increase, and when they increase, they become multiply. They don't like acidic environment. They can very easily create a enzyme around themselves, which is alkaline, ammonia, so that they can multiply fast. When they multiply, they go to the lining, protective lining of the stomach, and there they start making holes. And they start making holes, and when acid touches that hole, it's very painful. That is ulcers. So, if you don't take care, if it carries on like that for long term, I start living with this acidic issue, I don't look into it in natural ways to overcome it, it can lead to all these problems. And many people in their lifetime go through this problem of, it's very easy to check. If someone is having constant acidic problems, bloating problems for a long time, feeling low, there's no harm to get a check. Pylori is easy, stool test, blood test, or in many countries where we live, 15 minutes breath test. You can come to know. And the remedy is okay about that. We are not discussing. Normally it is antibiotics, 2 or 3 at the same time, or holistic. Then you have to go for the proper foods to make the good bacteria grow and create acid back in the stomach naturally. So what we just touched on, that why we feel acidic, why we feel that bloating, and the other end of it is like it can lead to this ulcers and all also. Then of course everything is haywire. And now I pass on to Gautamji. Let's see what next step we move on to.
So then it's a natural question then, because there are a variety of disorders that can happen, or diseases that can happen. So what is the remedy, and what should we do to mitigate the issue, or live a very healthy life? Because
Yes.
we have been emphasizing the stomach is the source of everything, and if things go wrong there, then suffering is great. So let's look at
Yes.
the positive relief side now.
Yeah, Gautamji, I think that is the aim of the talk today. I think that's why people are listening to us, and that's our aim, that we can pass on something positive, practical to them. And as you said about this acidic problem can lead to other problems. Simple. If our food is not digested and if our nutrients are not absorbed, we can never be healthy. It's that simple. If our organs and cells don't get the nutrients, nothing is going to work in the long run. The thyroid or other things, everything is then it's cyclic. It's cyclic. It becomes a cycle and leads to all the problems. So the important step of this next portion of today's talk would be where we can pass on some good tips to all who perhaps don't want to go through these issues or want to have relief from them. So, these are some rapid reliefs, not root cause. We all know about the antacids. So, what is basically antacid is just alkaline substances, medicines available across the counter. You don't need a prescription, which people keep popping. That is just to we feel acidic, so we think we should make it alkaline. So they make it alkaline. But remember, okay, for relief, but my food won't get digested in an alkaline environment. So if I keep it for the long run, it's not solving any problem. So then we have proton pump inhibitors, which instruct the stomach cells in the lining not to make acid. Okay, they will give relief. And if someone is having ulcers where the acid is causing severe pain, okay, they are life-saving for that person, But in the long run, this is a fashion. People just take PPI, protein pump inhibitors for almost anything. So just taking it like that, and food and proteins not being uncleaved or digested in the long run is going to lead to some problems. Histamine H2 blockers can also lower the acid, and the home natural remedy also, it's natural, but yet it only takes care of the symptom. That is sodium bicarbonate is one of the most alkaline. In a body, we have sodium bicarbonate to alkaline our system, to balance it out, to buffer the acidic. So people do have it. A small 1/4 teaspoon with lemon together with sodium bicarbonate in water becomes very alkaline. But if a person is having to relieve themselves not with the food, because when the food is going in, we still need the stomach to be acidic. After 1 hour, when the job of the stomach is done, when the food has to leave the stomach, at that time we need it to be better to be alkaline. But these are reliefs, even natural, but relief. But the topic for today is the root cause. So let us come there. Now the root causes will automatically point towards the solutions. And the root causes often seem to be we think, oh, I knew that, but they are powerful. We don't give importance. We want some magic, some pill, and everything goes away. That will not happen. Things go wrong when we go against nature, and to correct it, we have to go in the flow of nature. That's the way it will work. So simple. We see a mix. In a mixie, if you fill it up, and then you start it, and if the cover is not kept properly, it's going to spill all over your kitchen. Same thing when we eat. If we are going to eat too much at a time, overload our stomach, there's no place in the stomach to move the food. And if I'm having other problems, bloating problems, there is some acid going to leak out. It's difficult to digest it. So first thing is a simple thing: please eat in limits. Or you have to go proactive, very healthy. Eat 10-15% less of what I need to eat. The problem in today's world is no one is suffering from maldigestion, is we are eating just too much. Number 2 is, for me, the most important thing: mindful eating. Mindful eating for me is when I'm eating, I will never have my phone on next to me. I will never have TV on. For me, eating is almost like eating in meditation, very relaxed manner, thanking God that I've got that wonderful food on the plate. When I look at it, I sincerely thank God. I see that I thank the person who has prepared it. The person who prepares my food must also be in remembrance of God when preparing. It's something divine going into this divine body. We must take care of it. So when we eat like that, and we eat in awareness, we are chewing. The most important thing is today when you eat your meal, before you gulp it down, just picturize or feel it. You can feel it. Is it in a pulp form or is it in full pieces? You'll be surprised. We are gulping down a food. One task which we have got is to chew, and we don't chew. If you chew, we will help our stomach to send it food which is already partially digested over here. We have enzymes here also in our saliva. So chew it, and you see the difference with your acidity. It will give you a relief. Just be aware when it's going down, and you'll be surprised. So chewing, relaxed, thanking, seeing the food, enjoying the flavor, it'll make a lot of difference. Slow eating, technically, there's a technical biochemistry to it, slow eating. When I eat very fast, I will eat too much because my brain will not get the signal of releasing the hormone of satiety, of suppressing hunger. It's all interconnected. When I'm eating slowly, so time is passing. So what I ate in the beginning, at the starting, has already touching my beginning of my small intestine, duodenum. So the moment it touches there, an enzyme is released, CCK, cholecystokinin kinin, is released, which will tell the pancreas and the bile gallbladder to release their hormones. So hormones are being released, and it will send a signal to insulin and a signal to the brain that stop the hunger for this person because the food has reached here now. Stop the hunger. More should not come in. So everything is being done in a synchronicity, a flow. But if I eat too much at one time, so till too fast, the food is not reaching out yet. I'm not hungry and I'm eating more. I'm eating more and more because too fast I've eaten. So I've stuffed myself, and then I say, oh no, I've eaten too much. I should have eaten less. You see, this happens very often. So eating slow is the biochemistry dynamics behind it, with the release of CCK, sending a signal to the brain to make this person stop eating now. Timing, when last meal of the evening, common sense. If I'm going to stuff myself and go to lie down, eat at 10 o'clock and lie down at 10:30, I'm going to have the acid going to come out when I'm lying down, if I'm already suffering. It's simple. No need to spend more time on this. So please eat 3 hours before you go to lie down at bed. One of the most effective principles. Less liquid. We need acid in the stomach to digest. So if you're having too much of liquid, it is diluting the hydrochloric acid. Protein won't get digested. Food won't get digested. Fermented bloating. So drink before your water or after the meal, but during the meal is not necessary. You can drink some things to activate the gastric juices or to make it more acidic. If someone is really suffering too much, then okay, he has to be aware of it. Otherwise, apple cider vinegar or a bit of lemon with Himalayan salt and some ginger, these things will create the stomach ready, the juice is ready to digest, the protein, so there's no bloating. LES, lower esophageal sphincter, what we said, should be closed down. There are some things which can trigger it. Some foods will put pressure on it, which are acidic. So avoid those foods. People who are suffering, they should avoid it, like acidic foods. Cooked tomato sauce, this tomatoes acid. So cook makes it more acidic. So if you're putting things which has to be more acidic, is going to create more dysfunction, and the trigger can create problems. I said about lemon, but for people who are really into a lot of acidic problems, it's better to avoid orange juices or such kind of citrus juices. They're acidic. Coffee, black tea, soda, alcohol, spicy foods, fried fruits, they will trigger that, create a spasm in that muscle, the sphincter muscle. It will not be relaxed. Lack of magnesium, or it will not be relaxed. So acid can seep out of it. Nutrient deficiencies. If I'm already going through this phase for a long time, food is not being digested, so deficiencies can take place, like What is the hydrochloric acid and other gastric juices made of? Zinc, B complex, they're made of all these things. So we need the nutrients to have good proper digestion, digestive enzymes, and the acid in the stomach is necessary. uh, Medications, there are many medications which lower the acid. So we have to we may be needing them, okay, but at least I have to take other measures so that I can manage see that I'm having good acidity in my stomach when I'm eating healthy acid amounts. Age, it's not something wrong with age, but as we are aging, things are getting bit with time more relaxed. So acid level drops with age. Yeah, so I have to be aware of it. Actually, there are people who then we can have more apple cider vinegar. People have a lemon before the meals. Lemon is a wonderful thing from nature. It is acidic, but the moment it is digested, it becomes alkaline. It's a wonderful thing. And people have hydrochloric acid supplements also abroad. We know with age to see that the acid is good. There are ways to come to know that is there too much acid, less acid. They have pepsin with the hydrochloric acid in capsule form also. So coming towards the end now, and one of the most important thing is yes, loose clothes. I missed out. If there's going to be already bloating and acid problem, and I'm wearing very tight clothes when I'm eating, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the stomach, and pressure cooker, what it can do. The same problems will take place. We have become very proud of multitasking. You know, Digestion stops when we eat like this. TV, one phone on the table, one phone on the ear. Digestion is not going to take place. It's a system. It's a system. What is a system? The autonomic nervous system we have is very intelligent. Is parasympathetic or sympathetic, means either our nervous system will be in a phase of stress, action. So if you're eating like this, there could be the emails, could be some orders cancelled, payments not received. It is going to create stress. Uh, and The other phase mode of the nervous system is relaxed. So there's no in between. It's either or two. And food and digestive enzymes for digestion will only be released when we are in the relaxed mode. So if this is our style of eating, digestive enzymes will not function optimally. There will be acidity, there's going to be bloating, there's going to be all these things. And in every office, every business, we get meal break for 1 hour, not for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So these are very simple things, but that's it. If you can put it into practice, you will start seeing the result. There is no special medicine or some tricks available to get rid of acidity, or this counter medicines we keep popping for short term, for long run. No. And again, once food is not being digested or absorbed properly, we cannot be healthy. It's going to lead to many problems downstream. Thyroid will become weak, suboptimal. Low thyroid works slowly. Stomach will work slowly. Everything will become slow. Everything becomes slow. So I hope that was what we wanted to pass on for today about this acid aspect and connecting it always to the wisdom of nature. So any more questions, anything, you're welcome to pass on to Gautamji or to me. And whatever I spoke today, if you go to my website, backtobeginnings.com, then the blogs, these things are written. So what I spoke today will be written next week, and you can print it out if you want to print it out and keep it. So I thank everyone, and I will pass on to Gautamji for his opinions. So yes, he's welcome. Yes. So
So
Gautamji,
really nice in a very simple and very comprehensive way. You brought out the importance of the stomach acid, and if it's not, we have lifestyle, uh, which is not good, is going to impact the gut health or the stomach acid health. I mean, right now we're talking about stomach acids, and the good news is that it can be reversed just using the simple lifestyle changes that you suggested, eating right kind of food and keeping stress at bay, and eating well before you go off to sleep and things like that. So I hope people will begin to make some changes. Massive changes are sometimes challenging, but the small changes can be made, and then you keep on building on it. So thank you, listeners. We will keep on bringing you such talks in future. This is the uh, this series is called the key to your health lies in your gut. May lie in your gut. So there will be many more such talks in the series itself and beyond. Thank you.
okay, thank you Gautamji very much, and thank you everyone. I hope it was of benefit and you all can have some goodness out of this. Yes, I myself used to suffer from all these things, and thank God I'm free from all these things. So these are very effective tips. They are natural but effective. Yes,
Thank you,
slowly,
Energy, for
slowly.
the wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you.